Spurs win! Spurs win! Spurs win! Spurs win! Spurs beat the Clippers tonight, 101-94. Bill Schoening talking with Spurs assistant coach Mitch Johnson right now.
I mean, it's
we'll listen in.
On the fit, the coach, the team around you, whatever it may be. And sometimes some guys take more time than others, and it's fun to see Kata, really put the work in and, learn the program and trust the program. And now he's starting to see some of the, reaping the benefits.
Joe Garcia, what is up?
So happy for him. I think he has a bright future.
Yeah, 13.7 rebounds tonight. Hey, thanks very much, Coach. We appreciate it. Congratulations to the Spurs and to the Buffalo Bills tonight for advancing in the playoffs.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mitch Johnson, assistant coach for the Spurs. Again, the final 101-94. The Spurs with the victory.
Thank you, Peter.
LA Clippers.
I guaranteed this victory.
Final numbers. We gave you some team numbers a while ago, but let's take a look at individual numbers. First of all, for the visitors from LA, they were led in scoring by Amir Coffey. He had 20 points and 5 rebounds in this ball game this evening. 15 points for Marcus Morris on
playoffs.
17 shooting. 13 for Nick Batum.
Playoffs.
6 points for Ivica Zubac, who added 9 rebounds, and 7 points for Reggie Jackson. Just 3 of 14 from the field for Reggie Jackson. So our marquee matchup, DeJounte Murray against Reggie Jackson. Advantage Murray there. Off the bench, Serge Ibaka, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe had 7 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists, but he was just 3 of 11 from the floor. 6 points each for Terrence Mann and Isaiah Hartenstein, and 4 for BJ.
Louisa Tucker, Sandra, Lisa, Wes, welcome. Robert, Melissa, welcome.
7 rebounds tonight. 17 for Keldon Johnson, a very efficient performance for him as he was 4 of 8 from the field and hit 3 of 6 from beyond the
average. Joe Garcia,
6 rebounds for Keldon Johnson. Doug McDermott just 1 of 5 from the field, finishes with 4 points, 10 points, 11
there you
rebounds
go, Peter.
Jock Landale, 10 points, 11
we'll
rebounds for Devin Vassell, and Devin Vassell was 3 of 11 from the field.
Ofa Lin from Singapore, welcome in.
Murray, as we mentioned, 18 points and 9 assists. Off the bench, Lonnie Walker with 10. Drew Eubanks did not score, but he had 7 rebounds. 19 points for Derek White, 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, and 2 of 4 from the free throw line.
Good catch, Wes Perkins. There comes a time when all the cosmic tumblers click into place and the universe opens itself up just for a few moments to show you what's possible. Terrence Mann from the Boat Rocker.
In this ball game. So a great all-around performance by Derek White. Keita Bates-Diop, as we mentioned, 13 points and 7 rebounds. Josh Primo played 5.5 minutes, but did not score. He was 0 for 2 from the field. It adds up to 101 for the Spurs, 94 for the Clippers. There were several cool passes tonight. One was DeJounte Murray, who got it inside to Keita Bates-Diop, and that was our assist of the night, brought to you by Methodist Healthcare. Again, Methodist Healthcare bringing you the assist of the night. It was DeJounte Murray to Keita Bates-Diop. 101-94, the final score. Spurs with the victory over the LA Clippers, and we'll have more from the AT&T Center when Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
Woo!
Brought to you by Capital One Shopping.
Taro Kotani, the greatest international Spurs fan. Taro Kotani joins us from Tokyo. What up, Taro? So we've got Ofa Lin from Singapore and Taro from Tokyo. And Odessa, Texas. Domingo Hernandez Jr., welcome in from Odessa. John Williams from Dallas. Thank you, Sandra. You should get, these are really cool sunglasses. You should get some. The Spurs gave them away one night, and Joe Garcia of the Two Shots podcast gave these to me because I work in the studio, so I can't go to the Spurs games to get the glasses. David Valles with a great cut. Let's go honking on Commerce Street. I like it. I like it a lot. Leland Bruce. Hi, gentlemen. Big win for the Spurs over the Clippers. Now it's time to get rolling and climbing up the West standings. Yes. I like the way you think, Leland. There is Ofa Lin's comment. She is in Singapore. I got to someday, because the other day we figured out that Nairobi, Kenya, Christopher Smith joined us from Nairobi, was further from San Antonio than Tokyo. I'm going to have to figure out how far away Singapore is compared to Tokyo.
7:30 tip, and we can go right into Whataburger. What's next? Because that's next.
Whataburger. What's next?
Continues for the Spurs as they take on the Phoenix Suns. 7:30 tip again on Monday night. Then Wednesday, Oklahoma City will be here for a 7:30 start. All these games, by the way, on Valley Southwest. And then Friday, the Brooklyn Nets also.
My playoffs T-shirt, in case you're just tuning in. Playoffs. Playoffs.
With our friend Paul Castro here.
Thank you very much.
The final score 101-94. The Spurs with the victory over the LA Clippers, and with the win, the Spurs improved their record to 16-27. The Clippers dropped to 21-23. This is Spurs Radio.
Yeah, Anthony. Technically, I picked the 49ers versus the spread, so I picked 49ers +3, which means if the Cowboys win by 2 or 1, I was correct. But yes, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, have been since the Tom Landry era, and I have a very bad feeling about the Cowboys game tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. If I'm wrong, feel free to come mock me at will. I will deserve it. I will take it gladly if the Cowboys win and win big. If we start ascending the standings, Wes, I will dance in the parking lot. Once we get to the 10 slot. Yeah, Michael Bartlett's doing, he has a lot of work to do. Here he is. He's a hardworking man. He punches all of those buttons and does all those levers and does all that technical stuff. All I know how to do is talk into the stick. That's all I know. I'm not a technical guy at all. What can I tell you? Manuel, I hope you're right. I got a very bad feeling. Oh, okay. ID first, okay. See, Manuel says the Cowboys got this. Manuel, I hope you're right, man. I want you to be right. I want the Cowboys to win bad. Man, Buffalo 47, New England 10, 5:10 remaining. That is ugly.
I'll give you Derek.
Equal housing lender.
Okay, thanks.
White wheels up to the gate. Drives down left-hand lane line. Stops. Now spins inside. Right-hander off the glass is good. A sliding shot there for Derek White. He's got 19. And the Spurs lead 99-94.
Derek White scoring for the Spurs. Bill Schoening with the call and the final score. From the AT&T Center, the San Antonio Spurs defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 101-94. Programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI, and streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter pages. Spurs React coming right up. Michael Bartlett and I will react with you on tonight's Spurs victory. Let's take a look at scores in the NBA tonight. 9 other games played. Scores in progress. Nuggets lead the Lakers 117-86. Midway fourth quarter there. Midway third quarter in Dallas, Mavericks lead the Orlando Magic 65-53. Finals from earlier tonight. Raptors over the Bucks 103-96. Trailblazers beat the Wizards 115-110. Knicks over the Hawks 117-108. It was the Brooklyn Nets over the New Orleans Pelicans 120-105. Kevin Durant left the game in the first half with a sprained knee. He'll get an MRI on that tomorrow. 76ers beat the Heat 109-98. It was the Cavs over the Thunder 107-102. And the Celtics beat the Bulls 114-112. Once again, Spurs React coming at you in just a few after a quick wrap-up from Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center, where the Spurs beat the Los Angeles Clippers tonight 101-94. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammond on inspiration.
Woo!
Inspiration to girls.
Woo! Spurs win! Spurs win!
Inspired by the future.
Chris,
What's coming?
Fox just came down and said that hostage negotiation thing, it's all
everybody
standoff.
released safely.
Yeah.
And I forgot to give you the ID.
Yeah. Did you?
I forgot it. Yeah, I forgot the ID.
Okay, yeah, I need that. And then just toss it to Bill.
We'll do it. Talk to Bill. Yeah.
Thank you.
Next
Yeah, I
step
did
toward
see that.
your financial future.
At AT&T,
The only reason I know Ed Werder
Werder
retweeted it, and I follow Ed Werder's tweets, and so it showed up on my phone.
For turning your living room into your office and your gym.
Patrick Burns, Peter Villarreal, David Valles.
It's the button on your left, Anna. Okay, your other left.
All right, Sandra, I like the way you think. Spurs won, and the Cowboys will win. Okay. I like it. I hope you're right. I want you to be right.
Hey, this is Eric Church.
It's almost time to gather again.
Luisa Alanis.
Join CMA Entertainer of the Year.
Go Spurs go. Your true fans still support you and believe in Pop. Thank you.
AT&T Center.
So many Spurs fans.
Here we go. ID.
Okay.
Now at Ticketmaster.com. Gather again with Eric Church.
From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. Before we go back to Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center right now, let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves along the Spurs radio network.
News Radio 1200 WOAI. San
Spurs
Antonio
win!
News, traffic, and weather.
And now back to Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center.
The Senior Director of Broadcasting is Mike Kikarillo. Liz Canotas handles commercial traffic along with Leah Resendez, our broadcast.
Doris, welcome.
And our statistician, Carl Schoening. Next game for the Spurs coming up Monday night against the Phoenix Suns. That will be a 7:30 tip, and we will be on the air at 7 o'clock with Spurs Radio Game Night. As always, for all things Spurs, follow us on Twitter, Spurs.com, or the Spurs app. Our studio producer is Mike Bartlett. Our studio host is Chris Duel. This is Bill Schoening. Thank you for joining us this evening. Again, the final score, Spurs 101, Clippers 94. This has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the National Basketball Association. All rights reserved. Good night, everybody.
Spurs Radio Game Night Rewind has been brought to you by AT&T.
Woo!
The game we live for, the codes we live by, and by iHeartMedia.
All right, there you go. See now, Luisa, you say that.
What are you thinking? But can we stretch it to can you give me 15? Can we go to 15?
I'd love not to. It's been kind of a rough day. I was thinking 7 to 10.
I really kind of need.
Guess we're going to. So where are we going to?
Just 15. I just need to get to 15. So it'll be 10 minutes.
Oh, to get to. Oh, I thought.
No, I don't mean go.
Oh, I thought you meant total. No, absolutely.
Just to get to 15.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I thought you meant total. Okay.
No.
No.
I just need us to get to about 15.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
It's not about where others say you should be. It's about where
And I would have done it 15 as well, but you know what the day's been like.
Oh, yeah.
focuses on your measures of success. Whether it's for your home or business, we offer personalized service and expert advice to help you achieve your unique goals.
Visit SWBC.
Yeah, there you go, Peter. Yeah, I was going to say this because Luisa reacted about Pop. I see so many Spurs fans complaining about Pop, and A, they're horribly wrong, and B, incredibly disrespectful. After all he's done for this city and this franchise.
You'll be the line. Elbow jumper. Good. DeJounte Murray with the basket. 16 for Murray. 3-point lead. Spurs timeout. Tyronn Lue. 97-94.
DeJounte Murray doing what DeJounte Murray does. Tonight, 18.7 rebounds, 9 assists. Bill Schoening with the call as the Spurs get back on the winning track tonight. They beat the Los Angeles Clippers 101-94. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. I'm Chris Duel along with Michael Bartlett, and it sure feels good when the Spurs win. Spurs snap a 5-game losing streak, and they're back on the winning track tonight with that big win over the Los Angeles Clippers. We will react with you to this Spurs victory tonight. You're invited to join us on the phone lines, 210-737-1200, is the phone number. If you're outside San Antonio, you can do the 800 number. We still pay for that phone call. 800-383-WOAI. That's 800-383-9624. Things got really interesting in the fourth quarter. The Spurs led going into the fourth quarter, 85-80. But the Clippers started the fourth quarter with a 6-0 run and quickly took the lead back from the Spurs. And they led for a good portion of the fourth quarter. But the Spurs fought back and would not be denied tonight, and ultimately took this game down the stretch when it mattered, winning the game tonight 101-94. Before we go to the phone lines and talk to Michael Bartlett, let's take a look at some of the numbers tonight. We mentioned DeJounte Murray. His 18 points was the best among the starters, but off the bench, Derek White with 19 points. So he leads the Spurs in scoring. In fact, a lot of Spurs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Spurs in double figures tonight. That's a lot of really good balanced scoring for the Spurs tonight. As I mentioned, Derek White with 19 off the bench to lead the Spurs in scoring. DeJounte Murray with 18 points, 17 for Keldon Johnson, 13 for Keita Bates-Diop. Let's see, we had 10 for Devin Vassell, 10 for Jock Landale, who was in the starting lineup tonight, and 10 for Lonnie Walker. Spurs were 11 of 37 from three-point country. That was just under 30%. Clippers were 12 of 38, which was about 32%. So Clippers actually shot the ball better from three, but they only get one more three-point shot than the Spurs. So the Spurs made that up in other areas tonight, which ultimately led them to this victory. Things get really interesting and tough for the Spurs in the next few games. Their next 4 games are Monday night, Phoenix Suns, best record in the NBA. Oklahoma City comes in on Wednesday night. Oklahoma City, you think, okay, that's a winnable game, certainly. They're all winnable for the Spurs, but 3 of the next 4 at home. Phoenix, then Oklahoma City, then the next 2 are Brooklyn and Philadelphia, 2 of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Now, tonight, as I mentioned in postgame, in Brooklyn's victory tonight, Kevin Durant left in the first half with a sprained knee. He'll get an MRI on that knee tomorrow. So Brooklyn in here on Friday night, 6 nights from now at the AT&T Center. Let's go to the phone lines as the Spurs beat the LA Clippers 101-94. On the phone line is Veronica. Veronica, you're on Spurs React. Welcome, Veronica. Welcome, Veronica.
You know what really we're trying to figure tonight was fouls. We didn't get in foul trouble tonight like we did last night against the Cavs. I think we had more shots. Seemed like we had more free throw attempts and more made than they did. And so I think that was good. It was good to see Landale finally make a 3. It was good. I think it was balanced because the sizes were about balanced. I think Spurs have a harder time when the other team has a lot of taller guys, but tonight it seemed balanced and seemed like they just wanted to win. The crowd really wanted them to win, so they did it for themselves and they did it for us. So Spurs go, Por Vida.
Go Spurs, go Por Vida. We always love Veronica's calls. Veronica is a hardcore Spurs fan, goes to virtually every Spurs home game, and she always brings a lot of insightful thoughts and analysis. Great call as always, Veronica. Spurs beat the LA Clippers tonight, 101-94. This is Spurs React on 1200 WOAI. Back to the phone lines, and Sean. Sean, you're on Spurs React. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good.
I think, man, the sky's the limit for this team, man. I just think we need to put some more shooters around DeJounte Murray. Maybe for a trade deadline, get a veteran shooter up in here and see where it goes from there.
That, you know what? A lot of people looking at that trade deadline and wondering if the Spurs are going to make moves. Sean, I've always noticed over the years, when you think you know what the Spurs are going to do, when it comes to a trade or free agency or even the draft, often, what they do will be different than what we think they're going to do. And yet over these years, usually they've been pretty successful at it. So, I've realized a long time ago, it's hard for me to predict what they're going to do. But, my goodness, I do agree. You can certainly use more shooting. The question is, there's so much young talent on the Spurs team, Sean, to get somebody good. Who would you give up if there was a trade that you wanted to make for a really good shooter? Who would you package to go get that guy?
Oh, man, I would probably package in Diop with maybe another young guy, maybe Vassell, and maybe somebody else, a pick or something. We just need a veteran shooter, somebody we know has some ice cold in their veins,
Absolutely. Sean, thanks for the phone call, man. Just the idea, though, Devin Vassell, who was a starter tonight and looks like he has a very, very bright future. I just think that part of the Spurs calculus, if any trades would be considered, and we know over the years the Spurs do their due diligence. You just got to think. I look at this roster and guys I think that have a huge upside include Devin Vassell, who Sean mentioned. Keldon Johnson, I think, has a huge upside, obviously. Josh Primo, even though he just turned 19, I think he's going to be huge for the Spurs. And, of course, DeJounte Murray is already there and is already playing like an all-star. Those are just like four guys off the top of my head. But a lot of these Spurs are so talented, it's just tough to think if you were going to make a deal who you would conceivably put up for a deal like that. Luckily, that's above my pay grade. Let's check in with Michael Bartlett. Michael, thank goodness a 5-game losing streak is not pretty. We don't like it, but hopefully this is the beginning of several more wins coming as we move deeper into this new year for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and listening to Sean's phone call, as you call me, the Mr. Rogers of Sports Talk Radio, but I also unfortunately have another nickname for React. Would you like to inform the people what that is?
Yeah, it is Michael the Butcher Bartlett. When someone says something you vehemently disagree with, you tend not to hold back.
So I'm not ragging on Sean, but just to let Sean know, Keita Bates-Diop, you want to get somebody who's a ice cold veteran shooter. I hate to inform you, sir, but Keita, his salary this year is only 1.7. You're not going to get, Trey Young. You're not going to get an ice cold shooter for.
Well, he mentioned a few guys though. He didn't just say straight up Keita Bates-Diop.
Devin Vassell, that's 4.2. So that's $6 million between two players. You're not going to get a ice cold veteran shooter for $6 million, unfortunately. I love his optimism, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. I do think that the Spurs will make some type of trade, whether it's, to stockpile picks or cap stuff, to dump salary. So it wouldn't surprise me, but right now, you don't want to break up the young core. You don't want to break up this young team that they are and try to go, throw out somebody there, just, whoever's going to be the hot commodity to try to, quote unquote, make a contending team. As much as they fight and grit, they're going to be fighting for, the play-in game. More than likely, they're going to be fighting for the 9th seed, the 10th seed, maybe the 8th. But let's be realistic. They're currently 11 games under 500. They show potentials, but right now you're just trying to, I would say, as me, you're fighting for the play-in game. So I don't think you need to, break the bank to try to get some miraculous turnaround and give everything for one player. If it's going to just be a renting for half of a season type thing, you're seeing what some of these young guys have the potential to do and to be. And like assistant coach Mitch Johnson said, when the team is healthy and they're all together, you see the potential. We talked about it. They are a team in the epitome of the word team. It's everybody plays a role and a part. If somebody is out, you see the ramifications of one said player being out. You see the defense falter. You see rebounding or shooting. You know, this is the epitome of a team. And granted, we're not 100% yet. It was great to see Derek White in his first game back play outstanding. DeJounte did what he did. Jock did what he did. So that's the main thing. It was getting off of this losing streak, you know, with such a bad taste in our mouth the past couple of games. So you've got to keep, you just, as DeJounte said, unfortunately, numbers don't mean anything if you're not going to get the wins. So you've got to build on this. We've seen them play tough teams. We've seen them compete with tough teams. So, you know, hey, go out and shock the world on Monday, knock off Phoenix, and try to make it 2 in a row. Because right now every game counts, but there's a lot of progress with this team in every game. We see it. It's good progress. So again, like I said the other night, Rome wasn't built in a day, people. So in Pop we trust.
Amen to that. In Pop we trust. And I do agree with Michael that this team will be fighting for either a play-in position. I still think they can get the 7 or the 8 seed, but I think they're going to be 7, 8, 9, or 10 before it's all said and done. And I think that there will be post-season, easy for me to say, post-season opportunities for the San Antonio Spurs. Once again, the final score tonight, the Spurs beat the Los Angeles Clippers 101-94. Up next, as Michael mentioned, the Phoenix Suns, Monday night, 7:30 tip. That means Spurs Radio Game Night, our pregame show at 7. Our thanks to the great Bill Schoening in his 21st year as the English language radio voice of the San Antonio Spurs. On-site engineer Sam Walters, statistician Carl Schoening. Great to hear Carl's getting in there, getting involved. We love Carl Schoening as well as Bill. And a shout out to Walter Stoops, who is usually doing the stats. Little under the weather. Walter, we're thinking about you, man. Hope you feel better. For those gentlemen and for Michael Bartlett, I'm Chris Duel. We will see you on Monday night against Phoenix. Tomorrow, 3:30, go Cowboys. Just putting that out there. For those gentlemen and for Michael the Butcher Bartlett, the Mr. Rogers of Sports Talk Radio, I'm Chris Duel. Final score, Spurs 101, Clippers 94. This has been Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. Woo! Woo! Woo!